Well, I guess I won't say how's it going, White Sox fans, because yeah, Houston was rough. Happy to be done with that series. Let's not forget though that this week started with a awesome, great, strong, hard-fought series against the at the time was the best team in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays. The White Sox for a little bit took that throne, took that title, the team with the best record in all of baseball, after winning a great three-game set against Tampa. In this video, this will be the call for your picks for who will be the best offensive player in a White Sox uniform this coming week, so you can make your predictions below. We are going to look at a leaderboard update. It was a really interesting week that we are going to be looking back on, both in terms of how the White Sox scored their runs, how they won so many games, and also how the leaderboard got shaken up a little bit by some different things that we did that week. Before I jump into it, there's a Twitter poll that is about to close, so you still do have time to get on board. And the question is concerning how Major League Baseball is cracking down on the use of foreign substances, how pitchers use a sticky, tacky substance to get a better, more than anything, it's not so much a better grip, but better spin rate on their pitches. And I want to know what you think, how this is going, or how it should be going, really. And your options are to do nothing. Let them play as is, at least just to finish the season out. The second option is to approve one accepted sticky substance that all teams get supplied with by Major League Baseball, and then pitchers can do whatever they want, but they can only use that one substance, so that at least creates an even playing field. Or do we go ahead and go as planned right now, which right now Major League Baseball is suspending pitchers for 10 games, and it's pretty interesting because when they are suspended, the teams cannot then replace them on the roster. So it is a heck of a fine against the team themselves as well. Really would help to cracking down on that. Teams would have to take it seriously. Even position players that are suspected of helping a pitcher cheat would also be suspended. Now, this is what I've been saying Major League Baseball should have been doing all along when it comes to steroids. That, hey, if you have a player that gets suspended for steroids, they get suspended for 80 games or 162 if they're a second offender. But the teams then get to save all that money that they would have been spending on that player. Just look at what's going on with Robinson Cano right now. It was kind of a blessing for the team that he was suspended for a full year. They got all of his salary back that they could then repurpose for another player. I feel like that salary should, hey, that's accounted for. It's not going to go to the player, but the team can't have it back. Maybe it goes to a charity or something. This is similar how Major League Baseball is still suspending the player, and then that roster spot just gets lost as far as the team is concerned. It makes them play shorthanded. But anyway, what do you think Major League Baseball should do in this moment? Do nothing, like we'll handle it after the season, approve one material that everybody can use, or do what they're intending to do, which is suspending players for 10 games per offense. You do not need to follow me over on Twitter to vote for this, but my link is in the video description, and that's where you can click over, make your vote known, and then we'll cover the results at a later day. Speaking of polls, we did have a poll a while ago, which is that if one of our COVID-era baseball rules has to continue between these two, which is doubleheaders last 7 innings, or a runner starts on second base to begin each half of an inning in extra innings. Which one of those two, if you had to have one continue on, would you want to have continue? And the vast majority of people picked the 7-inning doubleheaders. I would agree with that as well. Now, maybe we do have a little bit of bias as White Sox fans that have a really solid starting rotation. 7-inning doubleheaders. For one, they've been very kind to us this year. And also, we have such great starting pitchers with good stamina that oddly enough, a doubleheader now feels like a day where the bullpen gets rest because our starters usually can go about 7 innings, maybe six plus innings. Usually a doubleheader is a day where you feel like your guys are going to get stretched thin, your guys are going to get worn out, but it actually ends up becoming a day of rest for a White Sox bullpen at least. So in this video, we will do 2 things. So we usually make these 2 separate videos, but we're going to put them all in one. We're going to look back and update the leaderboards, but then at the very end of this video, we're going to look ahead to help maybe cement your picks for the your picks to click. Top offensive White Sox player for next week. For looking back and updating the leaderboards, we are looking back at June 7th through 13th. It was a very positive week when it comes to the record. As you see, the White Sox beat the Blue Jays 2-1 in a pretty exciting series, and they swept the Tigers 3-0, including a huge 13-run win. I think it was 15-2 was the final score, which helped lead to our overall run differential going up to a plus 21 on the week. Plus 21, that's big numbers for a single week of playing. What else happened this week? Very sadly, this is the week that Nick Madrigal went down with injury. And of course, we know he's lost for the entire season now. We do need to do some sort of a get well soon video for Luis, Eloy, and Nick. We'll cover that in a later video, but that is something I'm just going to throw that out there now. I do want to make a get well soon video here on this channel with all of you contributing, and then we'll send it over to the White Sox, and who knows, maybe it'll brighten their day as they are going through some painful recoveries. Something else unique about this week of the Pick the Click contest, this was the week where I said you could not pick Jose Abreu, Yoan Moncada, or Tim Anderson, the top 3 vote getters week in, week out. They are not part of this contest this week. You have to pick somebody else. Also, if you did pick them, that means you clicked on the video, didn't watch it, left a comment, and left. Therefore, your vote won't count, but you will get, by default, Danny Mendick. And it ended up being kind of funny because Danny Mendick had a much better week than Yoan Moncada this week. So for some of you, I saved you and gave you guys a better chance. The wall of shame here. These are the guys who didn't watch the video, didn't play by the rules. They picked Jose, Yoan, or Tim Anderson. So instead they get Danny Mendick. Andrew Vaughn got a nice boost of additional votes, as did Jake Lamb, who usually doesn't get any. Adam Eaton got a couple. I expected just about everybody to head over to Nick Madrigal if you remove Tim, Yoan, and Abreu. And he did get off to a really good start on the week, but as we know, he did not finish the week. Adam Engel had just come out and impressed immediately upon being reinstated to the Major League roster, so a lot of people picked him. Yasmani Grandal had been playing really well lately, so he understandably got a number of votes. And this was the time that a lot of us were believing that Yermin Mercedes was coming out of his slump, so he garnered a lot of support as well. Now, when looking at team leaders for batting average, Zach Collins has been really making the most of the limited playing time he's getting. Only 9 plate appearances there, but he led the way in batting average. One of the exciting things about this team is that, indeed, and we hear it a lot, you just don't know who's going to become a team leader week to week. Players ended the week with a .333 batting average. Jose Abreu, who's finally out of his slump. Goodwin, who is making his White Sox debut. Danny Mendick, who's forced into action after Nick Madrigal went down with injury. And Leury Garcia, all batted .333. Tim Anderson finally had a good week as well. He had been scuffling a bit. And we see on the other side of the ledger, Yoan Moncada, just a .143 batting average. Vaughn, .176. And Jake Lamb went 0 for the week. Total hits, this is a pretty fascinating screen to look at. As you see, nobody cracked double digits, and really there weren't a ton of overall hits. But the hits that the White Sox did get, so many of them were for extra bases. So not a ton of singles this week, but look how many doubles the White Sox hit, including Jose Abreu leading the way with 5. And yes, Adam Engel, playing his first full week back in the major leagues, hit 2 home runs. Understandably, with all of those doubles, Jose Abreu led the way with total bases. Leury Garcia and Adam Engel, second place with 10. On base plus slugging in very limited action, Brian Goodwin made his presence known immediately. Adam Engel also was over 1,000. And in limited playing time, Zach Collins was also over 1,000. Danny Mendick and Leury Garcia in the 900s when our biggest stars were not performing. These are the guys who stepped up and helped the team win. He led the team with 5 runs scored. Whole bunch of people got 4 or 3. RBIs, Leury Garcia led the way with 7, followed by Goodwin with 5. And of course, he got all 5 of those RBIs in the first game he ever played with the White Sox. Goodwin, Eaton, Collins, and Nicky Two Strikes all had as many walks as they had strikeouts. Leury Garcia, not really known as a guy that's patient at the plate, picked up 4 walks. Yasmani Grandal had 6. And again, at the other side of the coin, I think this ends up being one of the more telling stats when you look at who was a positive difference maker on the team or who was scuffling. And Yoan Moncada only had 1 walk against 9 strikeouts. And after a bad week of stealing bases the week before, Tim Anderson now went 3 for 3 this week. Moncada was 1 for 1, Danny Mendick 0 for 1. In addition to me making this a challenging week because I took away a lot of our fan favorites, no Jose Abreu, no Yoan Moncada, no Tim Anderson. And of course, Nick Madrigal went down with an injury, and that eliminated another team leader. He really had a great last month of his season, seemingly getting better each and every week. So if we take out Madrigal, Moncada, Tim Anderson, and Jose Abreu, it's 4 main White Sox leaders. Who was the best performer over that week? It was Leury Garcia, who nobody picked. He was far and away the best player, the best offensive leader that week. Unfortunately, since he didn't get picked, I've got to go the next one down. And the next highest leader, when you look at total bases, of course, Jose Abreu had 14. He led the way. He's out. Second place was a tie between Leury Garcia and Adam Engel. And when looking at on-base plus slugging, Adam Engel was the only regular player batting over 1,000. So that gives Adam Engel the number 1 spot. The second place was another tough one to call, but ultimately it has to go to Yasmani Grandal, who had an .810 on-base plus slugging. So, as we show the updated standings, let's talk a little bit about this coming week. The White Sox will have blissfully a relaxed week compared to what they had to just go through. They just played two of the best teams in the league in Houston and Tampa Bay. Fortunately, the White Sox next get a day off on Monday, which they really, I'm sure, are happy about. They play 2 games against the very lowly Pittsburgh Pirates, have another day off, and then play 3 games against the Seattle Mariners. When they played the Seattle Mariners last, they were playing great baseball. Seattle was playing very great baseball. And as we talk about, sometimes it's not who you play, but it's when you play them. White Sox unfortunately ran into a very hot Houston Astros team. They're a very good team to begin with, but they were playing great baseball even before the Sox came to town. Just like when the White Sox went to New York and played the Yankees were playing some of the best baseball they've been playing all year. Sox hit them at the wrong time. So I am looking forward to the White Sox getting a little bit of revenge against Seattle this time around. Thank you everybody who has been participating and commenting and just continuing to be a fun part of this White Sox online community. If there's any content you want me to make, any topics you want me to cover, definitely always leave a comment. Until I see you next though, play ball, go Sox.